For being a Honda product, it always baffles me how few people know about this absolute unicorn of a station wagon. Since I was in middle school and this was new, I've been oogling over this station wagon and cutting pictures of it out of magazines. And now a little bit over a decade as a older kid, I still oogle and ogle over this wagon. And with Acura pushing out SUVs like hotcakes, like the new ADX, I thought it was a perfect time to celebrate one of the greatest and least celebrated Acuras in history, the Acura TSX Sport Wagon. Hello my dear friends and welcome. I can't believe we finally have the beloved Acura TSX Wagon on the channel today. If you don't know much about this stateside Accord, I'll give you a bit of a rundown. The Sport Wagon is based on the second generation of the Acura TSX. Hopefully I'd like to be able to see a first gen and a second gen sedan in the near future. Acura sold the TSX Sport Wagon from the 2011 model year only to 2013. Unfortunately, about that same time, Acura was upping their game with the RDX, and then little by little, wagons just started to become less popular in America. As far as true Honda station wagons are concerned, we had the Civic wagon in the 80s. Honda introduced the CB7 Accord wagon in the early 90s. There was also an Accord wagon after that in the mid 90s as well. But since then, we haven't had anything, unless if you consider the Hunchback of Notre Dame, the Honda Cross Tour, which is also something I'd like to review. There is a reason why you don't see many TSX wagons. It's only because Acura didn't make many of them. This was originally the Honda Accord Tourer in Europe and other markets, but thankfully someone at Honda and Acura decided to bring this wonderful car here for a few years. For the 2011 model year, Acura only sold 3,000 TSX Sport Wagons. In 2012, like this one, 4,000, and then for its last year in 2013, they only sold 2,000 units. Again, that's just because of crossovers. Now in 2010 at the New York International Auto Show, Acura introduced the Sport Wagon to the United States market for the 2011 model year. Again, Honda sold the Accord Tourer in other markets, but they got that long before we got this car. They even got a wagon based on the previous generation of the Accord or TSX. Mechanically, the wagon is pretty much identical to the sedan, with the exception of the lack of the manual transmission option with the 4-cylinder and the complete lack of the V6 option from the sedan as well. I know everyone has said it, and I know someone has done it, but imagine a J35 TSX wagon. The V6 from those made 280 horsepower, 70 some odd more horsepower than this engine. Clearly from what I'm saying already, you probably should expect this to be a competent car, and it is. I would say it really did put its competitors up for their money, but about the same time that Acura introduced this car, most of this thing's competitors in the US were pulling out of the wagon market. So by 2011, there were really only a few options, like the BMW 3 Series wagon, the Volvo V60, Cadillac had the CTS wagon, but things like the VW Passat wagon, which would be really in line with this, because that was a premium-ish wagon as well, completely gone by the time this came out. Acura was also planning to sell the Sport Wagon in Canada as well, but because of market reasons, they ended up not selling it. Another quick note, all second-gen TSXs, regardless if they're the sedan or the wagon, were built in Honda and Acura's Sayama plant in Japan. That's also why they're so good. If you've been a friend for a little while, you'll know that I've been talking about how I want a manual transmission station wagon. Unfortunately, Acura never sold the TSX wagon with a manual, so this is not the station wagon that I have purchased. Bit of a spoiler, I guess, I have purchased my manual transmission station wagon. This wagon in particular belongs to my partner Michael. This is a 2012 TSX Sport Wagon in Bellanova White Pearl. This one has the ivory interior and it's currently sitting at 148,000 miles. For the most part, it is stock with the exception of tasteful tints and the factory crossbars, but with the coming update videos, I'm sure it'll look pretty different. Acura offered the Sport Wagon in two flavors. You could either get the base for $31,560 or the tech package like this one for $35,000, bringing the MSRP of this one, because it's the tech package and it has a few accessories on it, to about $36,000 in 2012. Still right in line with an Audi A4 wagon, that was something else. The 3 Series wagon, the V60, all those compact wagons of 2012. Now this is where a lot of people complained about this car car when it was new. The only aspect that people would complain about, not it was unreliable, but it wasn't fast enough. I do understand, I would never deny wanting a V6 TSX wagon, we've already said that, but this is fine. I really don't understand it, especially because that this is the engine that the kids like. This is the K24Z3, a 2.4 liter dual overhead cam 4-cylinder. Of course it is naturally aspirated, but it is the same engine that you'll find in the TSX sedan. Sadly again, you could not get a V6 in the TSX wagon from the factory, but as these cars age, I'm sure more and more people will have the urge to do it. In this application, it makes 201 horsepower and 170 pound-feet of torque. Power only goes to the front wheels through a 5-speed Honda automatic transmission. This whole combination gets this 3,600-pound wagon to 60 miles an hour in about 8 seconds. It doesn't quite feel like those numbers though. It feels a little bit more lively when you're actually driving it. And again, I won't deny that a faster version of this would have been cool because BMW made faster versions of their wagons as well. Why can't Honda do it? And in terms of MPGs, Acura rated this at 22 in the city, 30 on the highway, and a combined rating of 25. Acura, of course, recommends premium gas, but you can get away with regular. If you are budgeting, this thing does have an admirably large tank at 18.5 gallons. Honda's K-Series line of engines is known to be pretty reliable, but of course, just like any car at higher mileage, some things will happen. These are fairly low maintenance and easy to maintain because it's an inline 4, you can do the plugs and coils right on top. But at higher mileage, you can develop oil leaks, especially if the valve cover gaskets can leak oil. It's also fairly common for the VTC actuator in the engine to go out. It's like a variable valve timing solenoid. In some situations, the timing chain guides can become loose and have to be replaced. If you just keep driving it and you hear it start to clatter and make noise, you better start helping your car out. But essentially this thing is a Honda Accord. You can't go wrong with an Accord. The TSX Wagon is 189.2 inches long, making it the same length as both my Volvo XC90 V8 and my 4th gen Toyota 4Runner. However, it's 11 inches longer than a 2012 Honda CR-V and even an E90 BMW 3 Series wagon from the same year. Just like all 2nd gen TSXs, for the most part, this is riding on 17-inch alloy wheels. Now, one of the main reasons you get the Sport Wagon with the tech package is because you get a power tailgate. Behind the second row seat, there's 31.5 cubic feet of volume, and then if you fold the second row flat, then you get 60.5 cubic feet. It's really usable back here. You could fit a bike back here pretty easily. Acura also loaded the trunk of this with so many different compartments. From big to small, I assure you there will be somewhere to put everything in the trunk of this car. There's even a huge well underneath the floor. Unfortunately, that's because these don't come standard with a spare tire. When they were new, you could get them as an accessory, and you can still find them through Acura or Honda now. Honda. I don't mind the extra space underneath because it's almost as big as the trunk in the Honda Ridgeline. Once again, we have the wonderful power tailgate, and since this is a little car, I would not expect you to tow with it. Acura didn't rate you to tow, but you could get a little tow hitch for it and really make it your adventure wagon. Now, as we enter the rear seat of the Sport Wagon, thankfully, it's pretty easy to get in here because it's a low car. Remember, the TSX was slotted below the TL, especially in the American market, so this isn't the biggest Acura sedan or wagon ever. I'm 5'9" and I'm perfectly comfortable back here. I can fit my feet under the seat. The driver's seat is about in how I would sit, and I have about an inch or two of legroom, and again, I can fit my feet comfortably under the seat. I have plenty of thigh support for the rear seat. That's comfortable, so it's nice. And I have the stadium seating that SUVs have as well, so I can still see above the driver's head. I have no complaints on my behalf. I have an armrest in the middle with 2 cup holders. There's also 2 air vents back here, which is nice. Headroom is thankfully also good. There's really nothing to complain about, unless if you're bigger than me or taller than me. Of course, because it's modern Honda, there's baby seat latches everywhere in the back seat, but if you have kids and you get this car, please take care of it. This is the moment that I and all of us have been waiting for. Me, myself, to be in the AC, but everyone else to see how this car drives. But yes, welcome to the interior of the TSX Wagon. First of all, so I can get the AC going, we have the key fob for this car. We have the lock, unlock, trunk release, and panic button. And because this is a 2010s Acura, give me your money. It's a switchblade key. But because of this, we don't have the push button start from the larger TL, so we have to put the key in the ignition. which is better? If you're used to the Acuras of this era, even the Hondas of this era, you won't feel like you're in something too foreign. We have this 3-spoke leather wrapped steering wheel and minimal wear on it. It does have paddle shifters on it, which is sporty. There are also buttons on the wheel. The left side, those buttons control the audio and Bluetooth controls, as well as voice control and the back button that's a little hidden. And the buttons on the right mainly control the cruise control functions, as well as some of the information on the gauges. As we look at the gauges, you can see this has the floating needles. I really like that. It makes it look quite premium. I like the font. I'm glad that the color is white and not a stupid red or orange. So it just all ties the interior together to make it feel rather upscale at night too. Behind the steering wheel, we do have automatic headlights on the left side with fog lights, and on the right side we have wipers, but they're not rain sensing. Now we can get going. This thing really has been so easy to drive. It doesn't feel big or anything like that. The chin doesn't stick out too much, so I don't feel like I'm gonna scrape on places. I mean, this is the only off-roading that this car will ever be seeing. But right now on this grass field, it takes the bumps quite well. I've been impressed with the suspension in this car, of course, because it has double wishbone. Even right now, it's pretty rattly. It's a rattly road, and it doesn't really rattle the interior much at all. The only thing that's making noise is my tripod. In parking lots, this thing is very easy to drive. The steering is has a light, nice, well, a good weight to it. In parking lots, it doesn't feel too heavy, but when you're driving at speed, it has a nice weight to it. Just overall feels very substantial and premium. I like that. It rides nice because it has a kind of long wheelbase for a little car. We can see how the power is. I'll turn the AC down, then I'll go into sport. I don't need to do paddle shifters because I don't see the need for that, but let's see what she does. It sounds good. It's a good sounding engine. It just sounds like a K-series, and you can hear VTEC. It's offered plenty of response, and this engine doesn't sound bad when you're putting your foot down. And it's pretty quiet, so for a luxury car, it's pretty refined. The brakes feel great on this car as well. Everything has just a nice all-in-one feeling. Nothing to complain about. I'll pop back into sport mode. We can see how the paddle shifters are. Wide open. Yeah, I mean, it's not fast, but it's really fine. This accelerates like V6s that I'm used to. Like if you're coming from something from the 2000s and then you're going into this, you really feel like you're in a substantial automobile. We can do a UE hopefully before this guy here. Sport wagon things. Tight turning circle, which is nice. The car is very maneuverable. Sorry, Michael, I'm ruining your average MPG. Yeah, and especially at higher speeds, it feels like it winds up more. The car wants to be driven aggressively, which is fun. It still feels like a Honda at heart. And it doesn't feel big. It doesn't feel like I'm driving a unit, which I don't like with some cars, especially some station wagons. It just feels like you have a slightly higher center of gravity, which is bothersome. I'm going. Sport wagon. It turns in tight. It's fun to drive. Of course, the J series would just be so theatrical. I love it. I'd be like, oh my god, this is the best thing ever. But it's still really good. It puts a smile on my face more than a lot of these newer cars that I've been driving recently. And just everything about it is good. This does have electric power steering, but they tuned it well. The transmission shifts well, it's smooth. I don't really feel like it's hunt, like it tries to hunt too much. Since we're stopped, we can continue to look at the interior more. It is nice in here. All the materials that you'll feel like on the top of the dash are nice and soft. Of course, nothing like a Rolls Royce, but it just feels quite nice. I just really like the comfortable cockpit experience that I have in here. It just feels good. This has a big display. It's not touchscreen, but it does use Acura's joystick that they used in the late 2000s into the 2010s before they started with the 2 screens in the TLX. Once you get used to it, it's not really bad at all. You don't touch all the buttons that you see. I do understand all the buttons can be overstimulating. If you first hop in here and you're used to your 97 Accord LX, there's dual zone climate control underneath that. Works very well. Thankfully, Acura did a good job with the seats as well. The driver's seat has full range of power adjustments and even a manual lumbar support, which is nice. The seats offer plenty of support. I don't really roll around in here, although I will say this car is a one size fits all type of thing. So if you're wider and bigger than me and taller, you'll still fit pretty comfortably in here. As I'm driving this, it really does just feel like a sport wagon. It feels sporty even when I'm driving it normally. Because this TSX has the tech package, again, it has the ELS audio system, which is their premium audio system for Acura. It also has factory navigation as well with real-time traffic. Something I do like about the Hondas and Acuras of this era with these screens, some of them at least, is that they accept aftermarket dongles and modules that allow you to put Apple CarPlay or Android Auto in here. The car doesn't really have much body roll, thankfully. It's very composed. It doesn't toss and turn around corners, even if it's not a flat turn. The suspension isn't unnecessarily soft, thankfully. I really appreciate that. And the car is always willing to give me throttle, even in normal drive mode. It's not slowed to react to downshifting. It's eager, it's good all the time. But again, it's not a fast car. This thing really does just offer an enjoyable driving experience. I haven't driven the sedan yet, but this doesn't feel heavy in the back. It still feels balanced. It's a real shame this GX is going so freaking slow. I can't stand this nonsense. It's very nimble. This is a little bumpy country road. It's not gravel. I'm not getting the car dirty, but it takes the bumps well. Really, it does. Every type of road surface, it's good. It's not gonna absorb it like Airmatic in a Mercedes, but this is good. We can see how the power is going back on the other side of this bridge, hopefully. You know, it's like the power that this car has just doesn't really encourage you to drive it ridiculously. It's just a grown-up driving experience that you can still have fun with. If you're looking at buying this, first, I mean, they are out there, but good luck. But a lot of, like this car was $10,000. Most of them in good shape will be about $10,000. A little bit lower or a little bit more, it depends, but most will be about 10. The ones that are $4,000 to $6,000 will probably be rebuilt title and probably need a lot of help. But I really think that this thing is a great value at this price point, and I feel like this is one of the cars that may or may not get slightly more expensive as time goes on because they don't make wagons anymore. Long live the station wagon, man. And that, my friends, brings us to the end of our time today with this wonderful white wagon, WWW. While this car's been in our family, I have thoroughly enjoyed it. Michael more than me because this is his daily driver. It gets great gas mileage. It's very comfortable on the road. You can still have fun with it on the back roads, fit a lot of stuff in it, fit a lot of people in it, and you're still driving an Acura. One day I'm gonna make a whole video about why I like station wagons, so stay tuned for that. Definitely stay tuned for the other wagon videos that you'll see in the future as well. I hope you learned a little bit more about this sport wagon, and hopefully if you're looking into one, this helped you a little bit. But I do appreciate you watching this video and watching this far before I get eaten by bugs and get darker. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, peeps.